on in. As people are getting, so good to see so many familiar faces out there. You bet, you bet. You look great in Argyle sweater vests. That's awesome. Yeah, I do like it. I like it. Tighter next time. We'd all appreciate it. Thanks. On behalf of all the ladies in the crowd. So anyway, as you guys are filling in the room, we have an actually exciting team meeting. So I want to hustle through some of the introductory stuff and the housekeeping because we've got some cool stuff we're going to talk about today. Just so you know, by way of classes, we're starting to get our training calendar back filled up to where it needs to be. Just so you know, for those of you that do not attend our open staff meetings on Friday mornings at 9:30, we are trying to get this up to a 3-class-a-day average, which takes a while. It takes a while to get there, but right now we're doing a pretty good job of hovering between that 2 and 3 class-a-day average, just so you know where we're headed. Today, filling out the listing agreement is today at 1:30. So if you guys that want to learn how to fill out the listing agreement, some of the scripts and dialogues we use when we're doing it too, how to use the form, how to overcome objections with that form, things like that, coming in here with Bill today at 1:30. Tomorrow is the first of a new era of Call Blitz. We have moved the Call Blitzes from Tuesday over to Thursdays, okay? And we have one of the best prospectors running that you could ever imagine. We have Apple, who is taking that on. So at Thursday mornings, please try to get in here. Apple's going to be running that. She's going to be helping you with scripts, dialogues, objection handlers, time management, everything. And then we're all going to be in here calling, whether it's staying in touch with our database, staying in touch with our past clients, circle prospecting, FSBOs, expireds, any of the above. We're doing it together in here in a room. She's donating her time every single week, every single Thursday going forward, which is pretty awesome. That's a true Agent Leadership Council member. And quite frankly, over my years, I've trained and coached a lot of prospectors. And quite frankly, Apple is, as far as I know, the most skilled at that discipline. So for you guys to not come take advantage of learning how to all those techniques for generating listings right now, pretty awesome, pretty awesome. And I do have some exciting news that I cannot hold in. When I say I can't see, yesterday, Emily transmit our financials, right, which is a huge task. Okay, this is not bookkeeping, this is not accounting, this is like giving birth to an alien. It is extremely difficult to transmit financials, and one of the sorry. Bad visual for everyone. But transmitting financials, for us to take a look at some of those numbers as she's transmitting them, two things are awesome. We are in what we call something that is borderline housing crisis right now. It's certainly a housing shortage, right? We have very low inventory out there, not enough homes to sell. We have a lot of buyers who want houses that cannot find homes right now. The whole industry says listing inventories are down for every single company, except for one. Last month, in March, we took the largest amount of listing units and volume that this company has seen in 4 years. What crisis? Well, it's slow for everybody else. They just can't get their buyers to find a property. We are on top of our listing inventory. It's because we are actually doing things proactively to generate business. We want business, right? And clients see that. They see the signs. They see the increased listings out there. They see that these are where the agents that sell the most real estate exist, more than our next 3 competitors combined. So it's exciting to watch that continue to grow. Our production continue to increase, and our market share continue to increase this year, which is fun to watch. Fun to keep it going. Fun to keep it going. So great job, Emily, on sneaking out those numbers last minute so that we could see. And it's volume and units, too. So price is going up and number of listings as well, too. So that just tells me these next 3-4 months are going to continue to get healthier and healthier and healthier, which is phenomenal. In a time where a lot of things are just sitting. So that's neat. Tomorrow, after Apple's Call Blitz, which I really want to see. Apple, you want to say anything about that? She just walked out too. Took a listing. Boom, gone. Anyway, Apple will be hosting that. Please try to get in here to make sure you do the things to generate those listings. Because right now it is activity. that generates listings. It is activity. They don't just come to you right now. And if they do, and you're just waiting on a listing, even if you know they're planning on listing and you've talked to them, right now, this is the type of market where they typically list with somebody else if you're not staying on top of them right now. So lead follow-up becomes a big part of that as well too. Not just lead generation, lead follow-up is very crucial right now. We're staying in touch and we're nurturing people that are thinking about it right now. Listing disclosures with Renee will be in here, how to fill out those disclosures. Thank you, Renee, for doing that. Come on in, guys. We have all kinds of room. And you can walk right up in the front, and you can even leave when you want. You can come when you want. Lots of room up front. I am a spitter, apparently. So lots of room. And then Robin's going to be in here. This is someone who generates the vast bulk of her business by her referral database. So if you want Robin to share her secrets as to how she grows her database of her SOI and her sphere of influence, I'd come in here at 1:30 tomorrow and watch how that team has systematically grown their production by millions every single year. And then once again, our staff meeting is open on Friday. I'm hosting Agent Mastermind right afterwards at 10:30, so please try to make it. If you can, come to our staff meeting and watch what we're doing to push the company forward. And then, of course, Tasha's going to be in here getting everyone's profiles up to 100%, which I'm seeing a lot of that going on right now. A lot of people are actually getting their KW.com profiles 100%. I am not there. So Tasha, that is, I'm not there. I'm not there. And then next week we move into time management and Ignite. Does Ignite start next week? Is that where we are, Kirsten? So Ignite starts next week, and that's formalized, systemized training. So I don't care if you have a license in your room or you don't. Come to Ignite. Start the only training process for agents to learn how to service and grow their business over the next 3 or 4 weeks. Okay? So please try to get into that. If you haven't been, even if you have been practicing, if you haven't taken this, you will pick up information. I am spitting. I'm noticing it. It's flying out of my, okay. So maybe there is some, sorry. Let's get back. Okay, makes sense. Next slide. Moving on, a lot of new agents have joined the office. Barbara, Lance, Chris, Jesus, Justin, Jeffrey, Jackie, Yasmin, Mary, Chelsea, Melissa, and Mike. Who in the office is on that screen, or who in the room right now is on that screen? Put those hands up high. Guys, give these guys a big welcome and a round of applause. Thank you for joining. Yeah, you could not have picked a better time to like start in this company with Ignite coming up next week and start jumping into training with Apple on Thursdays right now too. Learning curves are about to go up, which is serious in this business, right? They go up pretty seriously. Next slide. We had some cappers cap last month. Raul, Chris, Jackery, and Jody. Jackery and Jody are sitting right there. Nice job. Well done. Right. So these guys, and if I remember correctly, Jody's used to capping. She's a serious veteran and agent leadership member in this office. Jackery, that's your first full year in the business, right? Yeah, that's pretty heavy. That's pretty heavy. Yeah. Where am I looking at? Is he in the back? Where are you, Chris? Chris, you are just outside of my eyesight, and I am too vain to wear glasses. Chris, congratulations. Yeah. Congratulations. Chris is here as well, too. I did not see you. We got craniums. Okay, good. Very nice. Congratulations, Chris, too. That is awesome. How many years have you been in the business?
I just started in August.
Yeah. Holy moly. That's moving. Yeah, wow. Okay, so very serious production very, very quickly. It is really kind of cool to see from someone who's been gone for 4 years and then to come back. And I can look on MLS and pull the stats and look at the leaders in production. And my goodness, more than ever are new names taking over the production levels. And that didn't used to be possible in real estate. You had to be on the earth longer than everyone else to establish more relationships and connections. But nowadays, we're starting to see people actually be able to manually do activities to actually increase market share, like a normal business. So you're seeing that becoming accepted, adopted, duplicated, replicated, systematized, where business machines are taking over this industry from people that simply don't want to get business or don't put forth dollars, income, activities to try to get business. So you're seeing it. It's rapidly revolutionizing real estate. And I'm very proud to say that we actually teach, train, and coach those activities in this office. That's one of the core principles of our value proposition. So great job, guys. I love to see you guys doing that so fast, too. So you guys have just stepped into that realm of some of the new leaders in our industry, if you've capped, just to let you know. You are now, I mean, think of yourself that way because you are that. As like Jackery's texting right now. Come on, I'm paying you a compliment. Just kidding, go ahead and text, probably a listing. Next slide. All right. Okay, so quick, this is a very short video. It's about an hour and a half, but I saw it last week and I wanted you guys to see it.
You will fail at some point in your life. Accept it. You will lose. You will embarrass yourself. You will suck at something. There's no doubt about it. I was a 1.8 GPA one semester, and the university very politely suggested that it might be better to take some time off. I was 20 years old. I was at my lowest point. But here's the thing. I didn't quit. I didn't fall back. But I continued to fail and fail and fail. But it didn't matter because you know what? There's an old saying, you hang around the barbershop long enough, sooner or later you're going to get a haircut. So you will catch a break, and I did catch a break. Last year, I did a play called Fences on Broadway. It was at the same theater that I failed that first audition 30 years prior. Thomas Edison conducted 1,000 failed experiments. Did you know that? I didn't know that. Because the 1,001st was the light bulb. Fall forward. Sometimes it's the best way to figure out where you're going. Never be discouraged. Never hold back. Give everything you got. And when you fall throughout life, remember this. Fall forward.
So let's go ahead and hit those lights. So the point of this, and you're gonna get tired of me talking about E to P, but I can present it a lot of different ways. And I think it's really important for everyone in the room. I drew this wonderful chart. E to P is not a one-time thing, right? If you're gonna grow and get better, when I say grow and get better, that could mean increased production. It could be more balanced lifestyle. But I will tell you right now, if you don't get uncomfortable, neither of those are going to change. Does that make sense? To grow. If we're just assessing how we are in life, or in our business, or in anything, our health, our spirituality, whatever it is, if we're just trying to assess how we are in life, we're just going to make little tweaks and changes that don't give us growth, at least significant growth, in any of those areas. Okay? To do something uncomfortable that does not feel good naturally right now, which means we have to walk through a little bit of pain. Right? To get to the pleasure, the rewards, the results, the change, the growth on the other side. In fact, the more pain you have to walk through, typically the greater the reward is on the other side. And I always envision burning hot coals, right? And the idea of getting across those hot coals to doing something. Whether those hot coals be sit-ups, whether it means going to Bible study after church every Sunday, whether it means starting to eat more healthy, whether that means getting up at 5 a.m. to go to the gym, whether that means coming in Thursday to hang out with Apple and learn how to prospect at a high level together, whether that means start learning how to hire an administrative assistant to free up more time in my life, whether that means letting go of my buyer sides commissions to bring on a buyer's agent. All of which apply to uncomfortable activities that do not really happen when you're ready for them. None of those happen when you're ready for them. And if they do happen when you're ready for them, in all likelihood, if you don't act on it instantaneously, that is a fleeting moment that goes away and you get back into comfort. And that's why certain people just never change. When I say certain people, I mean about 95% of them, maybe more. Very few will actually motivate themselves through that. When I say that percentage, we're talking 0.2%. And even then, it's just a fleeting moment in their life. Then they get kids or something else happens that changes in their life. However, by following models, working with others, having people hold you accountable, being coached, having accountability partners, all of those things help you get through those things so you quickly walk across the coals and you get to that next level where you are getting more income and more lifestyle. It's when people isolate to their own devices and stay up here and think all the answers are in here and work through their own problems with logic here, those people never change. They never get the results. And that type of person typically starts to judge, right? Well, that won't work because, or that isn't going to happen because. It's a sad place to go, isolation. It's a sad place to go. So when we're actually looking at moving from E to P, right, when we talk about entrepreneurial behavior, we talk about natural behavior. It's what we naturally like to do, right? That's comfortable to us. Then we go to purposeful behavior, which is a whole bunch of uncomfortable activities that are purposeful towards getting us the results we want, okay? And we talk about those being things like calendaring, time management, business generation, systems, models, accountability, coaching, all unfun words, right? Spending money to get results. All of those things are terribly unfun. Leveraging to someone else to do tasks that we want to do and take care of our clients. All of that is uncomfortable, right? But to get there is tough, right? I feel like I need to move this because there's like poles everywhere. So everybody gets the pole for like 5 seconds. Okay, so then all right, does that make sense? So when we start here out in the business, we start, we're all excited and it goes really well. And then we start saying, okay, I listed my cousin's house and my friend's house. Then I take time closing them. Then I have no business. And so I go to the realtor picnic, and then all of a sudden I realize I still have no business. And then I go up here, and I get a couple deals, and then I go back down because I close that. And I stop trying to get business, and then I'm broke. And I realize, you know what? I'm going to start going to Apple's Call Blitz every single Thursday, and then I'm going to start learning how to get business. I'm going to put it in my calendar every single day. I'm going to actually try to stay in contact with the people I know. Maybe I start systemizing my database touch program so that I'm actually staying in touch via email and mailer, and I'm actually getting a 33 touch together where they actually remember me when they think of real estate. Boom, I break through, and now I'm starting to close a deal or two a month. Because once we get a 33 touch together, we can actually get more of a steady, predictable flow of business. With that comes confidence. With that is what gets us to capping, right? So when we start getting up in those production levels where we're selling enough real estate to have confidence, now we actually can start increasing because we have income. That opens up our 10% of our budget, right? Because 10% of our budget should then be spent on marketing and lead generation. But if we're never there consistently, we don't feel comfortable doing that. So we struggle along as a low, semi-producing agent that's having to fight for everything and hoping that a commission check comes. Because we don't have the budget. We're not leading with revenue enough to create that room in the budget to then be able to actually invest in our own business and create a return on investment, right? So then we break through that. Then we start breaking through that level, and now we start increasing production where, oh my gosh, now time is my issue. Each time there's an issue. The further up we go, the increasing amount of problems, but what do we call those problems? Uptown problems, right, Jen? Uptown problems, like do I get the Benz or the Mercedes, as opposed to can I pay the mortgage or should I pay the electric bill, right? Uptown problems are better problems. They're different problems, right? So when we get up here and we break through that, and then we start, at some point I don't have time to show all these buyers properties because I have 12 active listings. I don't even have time to get more listings. So then it's, okay, now I'm going to have someone else help me with my buyers, so I might bring on a showing assistant or a buyer's agent or something like that. So now I'm out there. Now I can focus more time on getting listings. What did I just do? I just freed up my nights and weekends. Right? Uptown problems. But doing that is very tough. Anybody in this room that has given away their clients, their SOI, their cousin to another person, actually handed off their purse to another, that is uncomfortable. So is giving away someone drafting your contracts. How does it feel the first time you had somebody else draft a CMA for you? Not comfy, right? I mean, I do my own CMAs, right? Does anybody in here not want to do their own CMAs? As if you all do the best CMAs? No, you don't. Someone taught you, but either way, right, yeah. As if your CMAs are better, right? Everyone thinks, but it's still hard. It's still extremely uncomfortable. Every step, there's a place for you to fail and fall. Every single time. And then we just keep going. I mean, every time you add and you leverage and you get more growth and you get more balance and you get more income, every time there's uncomfortable activity. And for this, I drew it like this so you guys could see each breakthrough. Each time we break through an uncomfortable moment, that's your E to P moment there, right? Every little circle is an E to P moment. And when you're in those circles, that is the most uncomfortable time on the planet. And very often what happens is we get up in that circle and it just feels too uncomfortable and we quit and stay back down here. Right? Because it just doesn't feel natural. It's not what we like. It's not comfortable. I want comfort. Sit-ups are terrible. Getting up at 5 a.m. is awful. Staying too late for church just won't work. I have bills to pay. I got to go hold an open house. I can't stay to Bible study. I can't. That's why when I hear that stuff in this office, I go crazy. I squash it because that's freaking poisonous and it's infectious. Because if other people hear it, you hear it. You hear it, you do it, someone else hears it. Because that stuff will spread like a virus, man. It will spread like a virus. Because I'm telling you, the key in E to P is to stay in it for a long enough time until the uncomfortable feeling turns comfortable. How long does that take? Any one thing fans in here? It's about half the book. 66 days to do what? To create a habit. 66 days of pain. 66 days of uncomfortable activity. 66 days until all of a sudden I'm getting up at 5 a.m. no matter what I do. My natural alarm clock goes off and I'm up at 5. And I'm doing sit-ups. I don't know why I'm doing sit-ups. But it's because there's bumps on my stomach, and I like bumps on my stomach. So I'm going to keep doing it. And in fact, I start to feel guilty the days I don't go. So my uncomfortable has now changed on me, and I'm comfortable doing it. Apple, how do you feel if you don't make your contacts for 2 days straight?
Guilty.
Yeah. Okay? It feels terrible. Right. Getting uncomfortable is an art form. It's an art form. If you can learn and get comfortable with getting uncomfortable, you will move fast through this. But if your job is, you know what, I'm just cool, I'm totally content, I'm very satisfied in my life, I'm not saying that's a bad thing. But don't knock people that want those other end results, that want more lifestyle and want more income, because I promise you there's always a way. Never is there not a better situation than you. We just haven't found out how to do it. Does that make sense? There's always more lifestyle and more income somewhere out there. I don't care where you are in any business. There's always a better. And it's okay to be content, don't get me wrong. But do understand, don't knock people that are trying to get to that other level, because there is a way to get more of both at all times, okay? All right, so that's a different way to look at E to P, where you're constantly trying to move through it as fast as you can, okay? And if you stay in this too long, it is very painful staying at one level too long. It's a depressing place if we're at the same production level, the same lifestyle for a very long time. A lot of people leave this industry, and that's why. No growth. Does that make sense? No growth. Content turns to discontent after extended periods without changing results. I'll tell you right now. So try to always be getting better, okay? Try to always be getting better, and you have something to shoot for, and it's a much more fun job, let me tell you. Getting better one way or the other. I don't care if it's lifestyle or money. All right, make sense? Okay, now we have got an exciting panel that's going to elaborate on one of the specific business generation methods as to how you can increase production. When you increase production, in theory, you can balance your lifestyle. So I'd like to call to the stage Mr. Austin Hartman, Simon Guy, and Apple Coryell. Come on up to the front for these guys. Well, these three and I got together to talk to you about how to prospect for sale by owners, or FSBO homes, to generate more business. And right now, guys, as they're getting settled, for sale by owner season is about to be upon us, right? It's really easy to sell a house right now. Why? There aren't many of them. And unless you look at all of our listings, there aren't many at all, right? So if there's not many listings, shouldn't it be easy for me to sell my home by myself? A lot of people think so. So they're going to start listing more and more for sale by owner homes over the next 3 years. I don't need a realtor. I'm the only listing in my whole neighborhood for sale. I don't need a realtor. Now, I disagree with them, but unless we talk to them or know how to approach them, they are going to try that. Why? Scarcity. They think that by not paying a commission, they will net higher amount of seller proceeds. I firmly disagree. I firmly disagree. Saving money is a lot different than making more money. Right? Everybody get that? Most people that actually invest more money are the ones that typically have the most money. It's abundance thinking rather than scarcity. Okay? In everything we do. In everything we do. So with that being said, Austin and Simon and Apple and I got together yesterday, and we talked about...
Do you want this or can we block it out?
Let's block it out for now. I guess you're right. It looks across their eyes. Yeah, I can't see. I like them dazed. Yeah. We talked about different ways to generate business, and just as a quick update, because I had to pull this out of him yesterday, but Apple has been in business for a while. However, she's just really spent the last 2 years dedicating a part of her business generation method to systematically going after FSBOs. Year to date, Apple has taken 21 listings, and last year out of our total production, 6 of those were FSBO listings. Is that correct, that closed? Yep, that's awesome. Then we'll move over to Simon. So just to let you know, Simon is in fuego. He took 13 listings last month alone, and 22 listings year to date as well too, which is pretty awesome. And then Austin, I just want to start with this. Austin's 19 years old. And no, he doesn't moisturize that well. He's just 19. Yeah, and he's had his license for 1.5 years. Year to date, he's taken 3 FSBO listings, and he's got a really impressive contact to listing contract ratio of 12 to 1. Every 12 that he gets in contact with, every 12 of them, one of them actually turns into a signed listing agreement. Pretty awesome. So that's something that'd be a well I'm going to. So I'm going to start out with, where do you find the information to get in contact with these people?
Zillow.
Every one of them goes to Zillow. Is there any other places that you might go? Curiously, just thinking about it.
Craigslist.
Craigslist.
As well.
Craigslist. Okay. Do you guys pay any money to go on Zillow?
No, it's free.
So anybody out here could actually get the contact information of open houses by going on Zillow or maybe Craigslist?
Yep.
Okay. I'm going to throw one on here that I just thought of right now. Another thing that you guys can do too, that it's also to get your strongest advocates, like your friends, your family, your spouse, people you know that really want you to succeed in business. Tell them that when they see for sale by owner signs, to take a photo of it with their phone, and hopefully the address too, and text it to you. Just tell them to do that. So that way you get FSBO leads left and right when people see the signs. Get your advocates looking for you, right?
Great idea.
Yeah. So get those people working, the people that really care about your business, your closest group, and hopefully you have a lot of them. Get them all looking for you. So you guys just go on Zillow pretty systematically, or can be systematically, and pull and look at where owners of homes have listed their own homes for sale by owner.
Yeah.
Scroll all the way down and find their cell phone number, usually right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and those are good numbers too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because they want you to be able to
They have
contact
to
them.
be able to contact you, yeah.
Right, okay. Okay, excellent. So let's talk a little bit about when you do call these numbers, what do you guys say? Okay? And when we do this, I thought about a way to do this. I think we mentioned it yesterday too. I want you to actually role play with each other right now. Okay? So let's start with Austin. Are you cool with that?
Yeah.
Austin is going to role play with Apple. So Austin is going to be the agent, and Apple, you are going to be the FSBO seller. So go ahead and call her.
Ready? Ring, ring.
Hello.
Hi, is this the owner with a home for sale?
Yes, it is. Is this another realtor calling?
Yes, it is. This is actually awesome. Real estate professional, and I saw your home on Zillow, and you're selling it yourself, right?
I am.
Perfect. You know, I saw that you just had it on for about 3 days now. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Perfect.
It is.
How's everything working out for you?
Really good, actually. We've had quite a bit of people calling, and probably the whole county of realtors calling me. So you're probably like the 100th one calling today.
That's awesome. Have you had any showings or offers at all?
No offers yet. It's only been 3 days, so we are going to be holding an open house, and we told some of the buyers that had called and asked some questions to come to our open house this weekend.
Perfect. So you're holding it this weekend?
Yep.
Okay, awesome, Apple. Well, I'm curious, is commission the only reason why you decided not to hire a real estate agent?
I mean, not necessarily. I mean, I don't see anything too difficult on selling my own house.
Okay, so are you offering commission to the buy side, or are you doing that?
Well, I mean, if somebody brings me a buyer, I'll probably consider it, but no, I'm not going to offer right off the bat, no.
Okay, that makes sense. Apple, if there was a financial benefit to actually get your home sold and actually pay a realtor even after my commission is paid, and actually net you more money in your pocket, would that be something you're interested in?
Well, I mean, you sound like just like the other realtor that called me a couple hours ago. I mean, if the financial benefit is saving the commission for me.
Okay.
So.
Okay.
But if there was a way, I mean, yeah, I definitely want to hear about that. But at this point, it's only been 3 days, so I want to try this on my own.
I completely understand, Apple. When are you having your open house?
This weekend,
Okay, and what time is it?
from 11 to 2 on Saturday.
From 11 to 2. Apple, well, do you mind if I swing by maybe around 10 o'clock right before the open house and kind of show you how my team gets home sold?
Well, I'll be preparing for the open house, so you can come by a little bit earlier if you want, but a whole hour.
Okay, you want to do it, say 10:30?
Sure, that's fine.
Perfect, Apple. I'll see you at 10:30, and we can go from there.
Okay, sounds good.
Freaking 19 years old. That's gnarly. Yeah. That's impressive, yeah. Did you guys notice how he did not use a single statement that ended with a period? He kept asking questions, stayed in curiosity the entire time, which is excellent. Great script too. Great script too. Okay, let's keep moving through it. Simon and Austin. So Simon, you're the agent.
I follow that. Dang.
I know. Yeah. Oh, by the way, what's funny is Simon started within months. He started when he was 18 years and 3 months?
Yeah, 3 or 4 months, yeah.
Simon started when he was 18 years and what?
I started working that month, but I got licensed like 4 months afterwards.
Yeah, see how there's competition between when they started? Yeah, so it's kind of cool here. So there's pretty awesome. Okay, Simon, so you are the agent. Austin, you are the FSBO seller. Go.
Hi, I'm looking for Austin.
Yes.
Hi, Austin. My name is Simon, and I'm with the Right Guy Real Estate Group. I just wanted to give you a quick call. I see that your home is available for sale.
Yeah.
And we actually sold one around the corner of yours and had multiple offers over on Paradise. So I will do this time. I will frequently pick one of our recent listings that had multiple offers nearby it and use that as leverage. So we just sold one of your neighbor's houses with multiple offers, and there were some spillover buyers that are looking for homes, and I found yours on Zillow. Are you still selling it?
Yeah, and what address was that?
That one was at 2824 Paradise. It's just about 2 streets over from you. And anyways, I think your home might be a fit for one of these spillover buyers. Would you be interested in getting together to see how we generated multiple offers and sold that home so fast?
Well, we are offering a buyer commission. If you do have buyers, you can definitely show our property.
Oh, awesome. So you are offering to pay the buyer side?
Yes.
And what are you offering that?
We're offering $3,000.
$3,000, okay. And how did you choose that number?
It is, $3,000 just kind of seemed like a good fit.
Seemed like a good fit. Seemed like a lot of money.
Yeah.
Awesome. And I'm just curious, Austin, why did you decide to list it yourself rather than sell it with a professional?
We've done this before. Obviously we're looking to save commission, but we think we can handle it.
Okay. And other than commission, is there any reason why you're not interviewing agents today?
Yeah, we're just looking to do it ourselves. Like I said, we've done it before, and we're looking to save commission.
Terrific. So you're looking to net the most amount of money possible.
Yeah, at the end of the day, we like that.
Perfect. And so would you agree that when it comes to selling your house and financially, that netting is more important, ultimately, what you net than what you sell it for, right?
Yeah.
And if you knew that you could net more by having a professional like myself handle the promotion and sale of the property, would that be worth 15 minutes of your time to see how we can do that?
Yeah, that could be. Let me talk to my wife about it, and I'll give you a call back.
Okay, great. Yeah, I'd love to schedule a time when it works for both you and your wife to get together. Generally, when are you both home? Is it usually in the evenings or earlier in the day?
Usually the evening times.
Usually time. Oh, wow. Okay. So, well, this week I've got Thursday evening open around 6:30. Is that a time that would work for both of you usually?
Yeah.
Great. Well, why don't I go ahead and reserve that? And you can talk to your wife. I'll call you back on Wednesday to make sure that works for you. And I look forward to seeing you Thursday at 6:30.
Okay.
Great. See how he said a soft appointment? It's a subtle commitment. Learn that in just about anything you do, too, because they usually hold true. Great questions. Notice how Apple and Austin are fighting like hell. No one's getting an easy ride. I don't think, good job for both of you guys on fighting, because you won't get fights like that too often. Yeah. So.
That script is hello.
Yeah.
You just need to talk to more of them.
Yeah.
Right. That's really true. You start to learn.
It's not as scary as it seems.
My goodness, amazing job. And that does take, there's a skill level here that's developed. You don't think there were some uncomfortable phone calls from these guys? He's 19. You know what I'm saying? There's some uncomfortable phone calls that you have to go through to get that good at staying in curiosity. Just completely staying, the questions are asked, you see how they're both thinking? That's engaging. They are thinking. They are totally engaged. Okay, so the last one, we're going to have Apple is going to be the agent, and Simon is going to be the FSBO seller.
Okay. So for me, I always have a script in front of me when I am prospecting. I don't know about you guys, but there's a million things that go up that are in here. And so it keeps me guided and it keeps me controlled of the conversation. So that's the way it's. Okay, so ring.
Hello.
Yes, hi, my name's Apple and I'm calling about the property on 123 Main Street. Am I speaking with the owner?
Yes.
Oh, okay, great. Who do I have the pleasure of talking to?
It's Simon.
Simon, awesome. Well, Simon, thank you so much for taking my call this morning.
Is this a sales call?
You know what, Simon, I'm actually calling about your property, yeah. I am a professional realtor here in the local area, and I'd like to know all the other inventory on the homes that are not currently listed in our multiple listing service. So can you tell me a little bit about your home as far as something that's not in the description that you already have on the bill?
Well, we're currently not working with agents, so we're looking to sell it, on our own.
Okay, great. No, I definitely understand that. Now, let me ask you, Simon, what is it about your home that makes it stand out from the rest of the neighborhood?
Oh gosh, you know what? We have the best fruit trees.
Oh my God, yeah. What kind of
Every
fruit?
variety of everything.
That's awesome.
And not only that, we've got a fountain that is really beautiful and koi, fish.
Wow, a koi pond, some, okay, great.
We definitely think our homes sell well above our neighborhood.
Awesome.
They just sold way too low. I think they have a problem with it.
Okay, got it. Well, Simon, it sounds like a lovely home, and I'd love the opportunity to even show it to any of my potential clients that may match up to that property. Let me ask you this, maybe I can help you out in a different way. Once you guys get this home successfully sold, where are you moving to next?
We're gonna move to the northwest side of town. We really want to be in Shannon Ranch.
Oh, awesome.
We've got our daughter's friends go there, and we'd love to be able to have her go to Shannon Ranch and help.
Yeah, absolutely, a great school district. How soon are you guys wanting to do that?
As soon as it sells, really.
Okay.
We'd love to be there definitely by July or August.
Awesome. Well, Simon, considering that the market is definitely going to a red hot market right now, what are some of the methods you're using to make sure that your home is getting the exposure it needs to stay on top of all the other properties that are currently listed in your area?
We made a really neat looking sign.
Okay.
And we used the computer to make the flyer.
Okay.
We got one on the list, so I think that's going to be a number.
Sounds like you're doing everything that an average agent is doing to get a property sold these days. Awesome.
That's what we figured.
Yeah, absolutely. It looks like you have it listed at $450,000. How'd you happen to determine that sales price?
Oh, just looking around, like I said, we think our home should sell quite a bit higher than our neighbors, and they sold, in the 300, so we thought 450 was
Really, really big koi fish.
I mean, it sounds like you definitely have some room for negotiation in that price. Are you willing to adjust your price down when working with the buyer?
Oh, within reason. We're not going to give it away.
Okay, great. No, and I wouldn't want you to give it away either. It sounds like a great home. Now, just out of curiosity, Simon, why did you decide to sell yourself rather than list with a real estate agent like myself?
And wanted to save the commission.
Okay, great. Yeah, no, absolutely. And if you were to list, do you happen to have any agents in mind that you'd like to work with?
No, not really. We see someone leave flyers on our door all the time, but we're probably not going to use them.
Okay, yeah.
We told them to stop, and they keep coming back.
Yeah, that's annoying, I'm sure. Okay, great. Well, Simon, I would love the opportunity to apply for the job of selling your home. And I simply just want to share with you my marketing plan as to how I can get you the exposure you need to get your property sold in today's market. I'm available this afternoon at 4, or would 5:30 work better for you?
Well, I would love to see your marketing, but I'll tell you right now, we don't want to pay a commission.
Absolutely. And hey, we can definitely discuss that when I come out there. I just want to simply share with you the techniques that I use to help sellers like yourself get their home sold in today's market, okay?
Okay, I just don't want you to expect to list the home when you come home.
Yeah, no problem, no obligations, no expectations. So would 4 or 5:30 this afternoon work better for you?
5:30 would be better.
5:30, great. Okay, I'll look forward to seeing you then.
Oh, great job.
Could you tell when the crosshairs went up? Yeah. That's awesome. It's almost like you saw her ears pin back, right? I mean, that's literally right then. You could tell when that moment happened. That was tough because you got funny. Made flyers on the computer. We use the computer to make flyers. We're thinking about the internet next week. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. We're going to invest in the internet. So awesome job. Seriously, awesome job. That was amazing. Apple, the way you stayed in that too. That was pretty ridiculous. Well done, Simon. Creative. But you see how no matter how hard the expectations are or how unwilling they are, because I didn't ask them all to fight that hard with each other, but they did, and they kept staying in it the whole time. And really what she's doing is just closing the appointment. See how every objection he threw out, she stayed and just fended it off. No problem, commission. I'm not going to fight you on commission right now. I'm just going to get the appointment. We do that in person. Does that make sense? That's the difference between closing the appointment and closing the listing or the contract. She fends off arguments about the contract just to isolate on the appointment. Everything will get a lot easier in person. Everything will get a lot easier. So she fends those off, and the minute she saw that appointment open up, ears go back, pin down, closing, hard. On the appointment, which is no obligation, no expectations, whatever, let's get it. And she was flying into that, right? That's what you do to close an appointment. So that was amazing. And learn that in everything you do when we're trying to move from contact to appointment. It is very uncomfortable. And for those of you that have never perfected these skills, boy, does that feel uncomfortable to you right now. Right? That feels uncomfortable.
The biggest thing I think you said there is that, not trying to close the sale on it on the phone. And the first call is just the introduction, really. You're getting to know them. The key is really following up with them over and over and over again, so that when they become exhausted of trying to sell it themselves and all of a sudden they realize July is unrealistic to get there, they're in a hurry, you're the person they talk to about. Really, right? Would you agree that being, what was it you said, the 8?
So for me, I've come to realize that a for sale by owner, no matter what, they're going to try it on their own. They have a certain time frame in their head that they want to do this on their own because they really feel like they believe it, that they can do it. So it takes about 7 to 8 contacts systematically within their time frame on contacting them before they'll even meet with you or even sign a contract with anybody. So if you are that agent that has contacted them, let's say that in 30 days they're going to tell you, okay, I'm ready to list in 30 days or at least interview agents for it. Put something together 7 or 8 times that you're going to contact them with something of value within that 30 days, and then you may be that person your 7th or 8th time talking with them that they list with. So you do have to have the intention or the mentality that they do want to try this on their own, and you're just there to try and catch them when they do fall and they're ready.
So 7 to 8 times we nurture, and that's what you hear it called a nurture, where we're staying. Is that about weekly? Is that kind of a weekly nurture?
Yeah, just depending on their time frame.
Okay, so give me something that depends on the time frame. Give me an example of when that might change.
So let's say that they say they're not going to talk to anybody until the end of the month. Okay, and I just talked to them and it's Wednesday and they just said that they're going to have an open house. So for me, Fridays, I'm going to check in with them. Hey, I remember that you told me that you're having an open house. Is there anything that I can provide you as far as a handout or anything that you want to give out to some of the potential people that come in? And that could be simply having that great relationship with the lender. They can whip something up real quick as far as estimates of how much that house would cost on payment. So I'd follow up with them on Friday, so that's my second contact. Follow up with them, and then even go stop by during the open house. That's your third contact. Then follow up on them. On Mondays is the best time to contact for sale by owners because they literally just had an open house, and if it's anything like ours, there was 1 to 2 people that showed up, right? Mm-hmm. So follow up with them on Monday. They're frustrated. Nobody showed up to the open house. Then again, provide them something of value. Hey, maybe you can try this. I do this with my marketing plan. You can try it next time you guys hold an open house. So
because he said he's got a tighter time frame that he wants to try it on his own, you take those 7 to 8 contracts and kind of compress them like an accordion, and you're meeting them more frequently than a weekly basis.
Yep.
Do you ever get like, why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? What do you mean that I need something from you?
Well, typically when a buyer actually sees a home, they have multiple questions to ask, like how much would my monthly payments be on a $250,000 house? I mean, unless you're a professional lender or an agent that actually knows what they're doing, would you know that number on top of your head? I can get my lender that'll whip that up and have a nice little flyer for you. We'll take your pictures off of Zillow, so that way you can hand that out. I'll even put my contact information there for you, so they can call me with any questions, and I'll be more than happy to help them out that way.
I've found that on the follow-up, the first call, we've got a really great script, right? It's prepared, it's eloquent, it's got all the questions we need to ask. On the second one, we're bringing an item of value like the open house or something like that, or making sure they receive something we sent them. And then in the subsequent weeks of following up, our scripts get weaker and weaker and weaker. And so then those 3rd, 4th, 5th follow-up calls and after that get harder to make. And so I've recently adopted somebody else's script that is for follow-up on those calls, just to call and say, hi, this is Simon. I'm just wanting to call to see if you happen to have any real estate related needs this week that I can help you with. Which, by the way, you're going to most often leave this on voicemail. And so, in that, I'll just say, if that happens to be the case, if you have anything this week that you need, feel free to give me a call at this number. But really, it's just, hi, I just want to follow up and help. I just want to follow up to see if you had any new real estate needs that I can talk about.
Just checking in, just them hearing from you, just checking in. So I think it's just a bunch of like the drunk monkeys, like, oh my God, what am I going to say this time? Oh my God, what am I going to say that time? Just you following up. Number one, you stopping by introducing yourself. You're doing a lot more than the average agent out there who actually knows there's for sale by owners and don't do anything with it. And then number two, you're going above and beyond by just checking up on them to see how things are going, if there is anything that we can do to help. Because you are the professional real estate agent that knows the market a lot better than they do. So just having that confidence within yourself that there is something you can provide them of value.
Yesterday when we were talking about this too, and I do want to pull this out, make sure that we say this. First of all, do you have to be just someone who calls FSBOs all day long to do this?
This is just one source of business.
Yeah, couldn't you be doing this in your farms? I mean, should you let a FSBO exist in your farm? Shouldn't we be trying to stay in contact with FSBOs in your geographic farm, in your database? How about in your referral database, in your SOI? Do you want them to exist in your SOI? They're in your SOI, but they think they can do it better than you can, right? So a way that we do that, and we talked about it yesterday, is when as Simon says, his scripts get weaker, and I think what he means by that, he's not pushing as much, right? You're trying to come from contribution more, right? So what are some things that we talked about yesterday that we do to come from contribution where we start trying to help them to build rapport? Because 7 to 8 contacts, that's a lot. We're starting to get to know these people a little bit, right? Right? So what are some things we can do to help them to come from contribution to nurture this relationship if they are in my farm, if they are just someone that we want to list their home, if they're in my database? How do we nurture them and come from contribution to continuously add value?
You can definitely help them with their open house, right? You can be in the open house with them, screening buyers, trying to get the home sold actually for them, and keep them in your best interest.
Listen to that. What else?
Oh, for me, it's pulling stuff out of your own marketing plan. Like, for example, you can suggest to them, hey, go on Vistaprint for like maybe $25. You can send out 150 postcards to all of your neighbors so they know that your house is for sale. Just anything, pull something out of your marketing plan that you do for your sellers and offer that every time you talk to them. Because 90% of the time they're not doing that. They don't really know what to do.
One that I just thought of in doing that is that we might try is doing advertising and boosting their open house, boost their listing and say, hey, here's a buyer's attention, here's an off-market opportunity for sale in your area. And force that in and do some online advertising with it.
Yeah, how about if I email your listing to everyone in my database? It's free, cheap, easy. Copy them on it.
And constantly follow up, right? Because they'll forget about you in a second. They're not going to remember you. They have other people calling them as well.
Yeah, what about if you're holding an open house the same weekend, you try to coordinate it with them so that you're open at the same time, and you can direct buyers their way too. Hey, how about we hold a joint one and we can piggyback off each other's traffic? I'll try to send all my people, because we've marketed this quite heavily. Here's what I did to market my open house. X, Y, Z, A, B, C. I did all those things, so I should generate more traffic. I'll keep sending people your way. I'll give you a ring every time I know one's coming your way. Touch, 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 help, 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 contribution, contribution, contribution. You're actually helping people. Does this make sense? We close to set appointments. But we always come from contribution, right? They want a negotiator, gang. They don't want someone who's reserved and shy and is a people pleaser, remember? They want to see both sides of you. Show them that you have all the skills to successfully advocate on their behalf when you represent them. Does that make sense? So it's very important we can show them that. Anybody have any other things?
Austin brought up one thing on the call they didn't bring up now, is that when they offer to pay the buyer side commission, to point out that, well, that's interesting, so you're willing to pay a professional to negotiate against you, but you're not willing to pay the one that negotiates for you.
And that's huge, guys. You have to get that point across because they don't realize that.
Yeah, you're willing to.
They actually realize
that's
that,
pretty cool.
they'll make that meeting with you.
I've actually never heard that before. That's really good. You're willing to pay someone to negotiate against you, as opposed to, yeah. And that's something we typically are going to try to do in person, as opposed to over the phone, right? Right? But sometimes it needs to come out if you can't get the appointment whatsoever. Another thing that they brought up yesterday too that I think is crucial is the auto prospecting feature for sellers. A lot of people use the auto prospector feature in MLS for buyers, which is neato. But honestly, if we're trying to get listings, why don't we set up our sellers on that? Why aren't we setting up FSBO sellers on that? So that they actually will get automatic drip update emails from me from all the sales activity in their immediate neighborhood. So they can keep an idea as to what the value of their home is doing because they're seeing new competition come on the market at new home prices. We price houses off of comparable sales, right? They can see how these new houses are coming up for sale. They can see what they're going under contract for. They can see what they're selling for. They can see their price changing. They can see their competition, right? Is that a value to them? Heck yeah. Is it cost you a penny to do that? No. Will you have a reason to automatically send them emails? You don't even have to do it with your name attached to them, reminding that you're the one agent doing this for them. Should all of your sellers be up on these? All of your active listings right now? Yes. Is it a way to stay in contact and communication with all of your active listings? Yes. So should you be doing that with every single one of your listings? Yes. Right? What's the biggest complaint against realtors every single year since before I can remember?
They don't stay in touch.
They don't stay in touch, they don't communicate. Guess what? You're not here either. You're just having the MLS auto prospecting feature do it for you. But at least they get to see what's happening. They will know. So your seller's not telling you when the house around the corner sold. You're telling them. Does this make sense? Those are free features provided by your Association of Realtors. Don't get mad when you pay your dues. They give you things, right? Okay? So does that, right? So that is a value, but we have to utilize the tools to do it, to provide that higher level of customer service. Even just printing them out as CMA. Even just printing them out as CMA. You know, to give them a CMA, to give them an updated CMA a month later when things change. Point out what changed. Here you go. Right? You're starting to establish, build rapport, show that you know more than them, show that you have more expertise than them. If you circle prospect and you call around the neighborhood, couldn't you offer to talk about their listing as well too? Couldn't you show them the report of all the calls that you made around the neighborhood? Show them that you have all the numbers of everyone in the neighborhood, right? All of those things that they brought up yesterday too. So I love all this stuff. You can give them all the numbers, yeah.
Here's your neighbor's numbers. Yeah.
That's pretty awesome, yeah. Isn't that something we all have in this office? Do we have access to that? Poor Savannah's like freaking out. She's like, oh, there comes a lot of orders for numbers. Right, right, so we do. By being in this office, you have all the cell phone numbers and email addresses of every geographic area in the county, right? Cell phone numbers and email addresses. She's freaking out right now. Right? You have those, right? So we can provide a higher level of customer service for our listings, which is why we have more listings. Because we can actually market to the neighbors, because we ultimately find the purchaser of a home is a friend, family member, or acquaintance of someone that already lives in the neighborhood. Right? And that script rolls off the tongue. I like it. I like it. Okay, so overcoming commission objections. How are we on time? I think we are close. I think we covered that. Let's talk about best time of the day to call. When should they be calling FSBOs?
So Austin, when's the best time for you
Well, yesterday I said 5 to 8, but Apple made a good point.
So why do you think that is?
Because I actually called during that time. Right?
5 p.m. to 8 p.m.
So the best time for me is between 8 and 12. Why? Because that's the time I make my calls. So
Consistently.
consistently. It's the best time to call anybody is when you're going to do it consistently.
That is such a crucial concept to understand. It's when you are most likely to do it consistently. So when you tell me that when I tell you that I think the best time for people to make their calls, if you're not 19 years old and you wake up at 3 o'clock because adolescence is still kicking in, I'm totally joking. But the point is, the reason I say that to people is because that's the time you're least likely to be interrupted in real estate. It's the least likely when people are going to want to show properties. It's the least likely time when people are going to inspect properties. It's the least likely time that the escrow officers are going to call you, that the lenders are going to call you, that other agents are going to call you. Real estate doesn't usually wake up till about 10:30, 11 o'clock. By that time, when you start getting interrupted, she's almost done with her calls. Simon too, right? After 5 o'clock's pretty safe too. With the exception of maybe some showings and some listing consultations, that's when the phone calls die down, right? See how they pick the time based on when they're most likely to do it systematically. Make sense? So that is the best time to make calls. Do not make it when you think they're going to answer. Do not get that thinking in your head. That is not the correct thinking. This makes sense? It's not when you think they're going to answer. Okay? That makes sense? Give these guys a huge round of applause. Seriously. I can tell you that is some of the best script and role play I've seen done publicly in probably my career. I don't know that I've seen it done that well by everybody up on stage. That was extremely impressive. Actually, I do leave that up really quick. I do want to give you guys some talking points that are really important. Right now, and this is on my page. We're actually, next week, if you come, I'm going to give you updated versions of these because these stop at 2015. We now have all the 2016 data in, but right now you're going to see that the number for 2016 is 90%, which means 90% of all home buyers used an agent. Okay, 90% of home buyers use an agent, and you're going to see that I think it's something like 6% bought a home directly from the seller, okay? Which means they typically bought it from a builder, right? They just walked into a builder and bought it, okay? A new home constructor. They had it done. They had it built by a custom home builder, okay? So who are we marketing to as agents? Other agents, right? Seriously, when a buyer comes to you and they say, I want to buy a $300,000 house in Southwest Visalia, what do? You go look in MLS and find all the houses that fit their criteria listed by other agents. So them putting a sign in the yard and putting it in Craigslist, who are they marketing to? All the wrong people. They're missing 90% because you are not looking there. How many of you looked on Craigslist for a home for your buyer in the last 2 weeks? You didn't. You're not seeing it. They're missing 90%. Guys own this problem. Don't laugh at them, because if you don't know how to have this communication, you don't know how to describe your value proposition. Does that make sense? They're not marketing it, so therefore they're going to have less offers, which means their net proceeds are going to go down. Because right now, how often are we seeing multiple offers at a property that drive the sales price up above asking in market? All the freaking time. Can you truly net higher proceeds by paying a commission because of that? Yes! The ability to communicate is crucial, to explain that to them. So can we show them this information? Yes. Does that make sense? Next week I'm going to now these are all up. If you just type in FSBO in the search bar, you can pull this down. However, next week you're going to have fully updated slides that you can give to them that are up to 2016. This just got better for us, though. That's why I was so excited when Savannah was showing me the slides and I'm cheering in her office, because oh my goodness, these are even more compelling now. That we need to be marketing to agents. If they do FSBO by themselves, they're missing the public. It's like they're trying to sell oranges on the side of the road. I mean, people don't buy houses that way, right? Like they don't. They don't just, oh, I'm going to buy that one. That's great. We'll does that make sense? So it's very important we communicate the value proposition of the agent. The value proposition of the agent is we market to other agents. Okay? They don't get that. Don't think they get that. For those of you that lit up in your own head, you are an agent. Now imagine what they think. They don't know anything. They don't understand how this works. Okay, so remember that proposition. Okay, thank you. That panel was so freaking good. That is such high skill level on that panel.
What's your second stat? You said 90% are represented by agents, and then you gave another
6% of buyers buy. 6% buy directly from a seller who's unrepresented, which is primarily home builders. It's not FSBOs.
Right.
Does that make sense?
What's the other 4%?
Miscellaneous. In other words, it's like a whole bunch of little things. And I'll show you next week. It's a whole bunch of little things like the seller could be a FSBO. The seller is, the person is not using an agent, but the listing agent is represented. So dual agency comes into play. About half the states allow dual agency, half don't, just to let you know. So there's a lot in there that comes into play where they can't. They go unrepresented. They call it a transaction broker. It's weird. I was in one of those states for a while. I don't like it. It's good to be back where you can represent, you get 2 commissions at once. It's nice. Make sense? Okay? Is that good? All right, I'll nail in that a little bit better next week because we're going to talk about all that. Okay, before I let you go, I need 3 buckets filled or 3 success stories. 3 buckets filled or success stories. Buckets filled means you're thinking somebody else. I got 3 people up there we could think. Wayne,
I wanted to fill the bucket of Virginia, who is constantly helping me on transactions and files. Also wanted to help fill the bucket of Jackery, Apple, Sergio Campos, Mary Beth, Ricardo Reyes, Vernon Spence, Diala Souza, and Heather Kimberly Dodson, who are people that referred people to the real estate class, which was a tremendous success, and 32 in attendance last night, and possibly others that are wanting to join tomorrow.
That is awesome. Thank you, guys. That is really good. Freaking awesome. It's amazing. We constantly have 30 new people for that school every single flipping class you have, and
I
that's.
invited them all to the sales meeting, and I'm going to keep telling them all of the stuff that the value you're giving the agents.
Yeah, they could totally be getting listings right now. Just kidding, Wayne. Kidding, Troy.
Where all of us would be, but I'm going to get them to start coming to this, so they can see the energy and the value of being here at this office.
Well, thank you, Wayne. That's awesome. Awesome.
That's filling your bucket.
Thank you. You feel like 900 buckets right there. All right, someone else other than Wayne. I just need one more. He covered 2 buckets. 200 buckets. Jackery.
Troy.
Well, sorry.
Thank you for always being there.
Troy got a shade of red right there. You got a little red. She is.
8 o'clock on a Friday night. I know it's Jackery.
Good night, Troy. That is excellent, excellent. Anybody else out there? Did I miss any hands up there? All right, guys, let's go sell some real estate.